In One Piece episode 1076, Luffy defeated Kaido, and Oden knew that 20 years ago. So he sends his son and his follower into the future, exactly where Luffy is out for a journey. But how did he know that so accurately? He even promised Roger that he would open Wano's border. But why? If he opens Wano's border, pirates can attack, and the world government can take control Wano so easily. Pluton is also... Okay, to fully understand it, we have to look back on Oden's past adventures with Whitebeard and Roger. And the problem is, if I started covering all of their adventures in detail, this video would become too long, so I'll only cover the necessary parts of that adventure. Still, if you want to skip, I will provide you with a timestamp in the description below. So, let's start with Oden's short background. His full name is Kozuki Oden. He is the son of the former shogun of Wano country, Kozuki Sukiyaki, the husband of Kozuki Toki, and the father of Kozuki Momonosuke and Kozuki Hiyori. Wano is a country that is located on the top, and those who want to get there have to climb all the way up and go through these big stone pillars in the sea called the border of Wano. Despite being a shogun's son, he has no interest in inheriting that role, but he has a strong desire for adventure. As we know about Wano, it's harder to enter and much harder to leave that country, especially without a ship. Because of his strong desire for adventure, he tried so many times to leave that country and go on an adventure, but he never made it. Long story short, he is also one of the strongest individuals in Wano. Despite his formidable strength and kind heart, Oden acquired 8 loyal followers, one by one. These included Kinemon, Denjiro, Kanjuro, Kikunojo, Kawamatsu, Inuarashi, Nekomamushi, and so on. One day, there comes a pirate ship in Wano, and whenever he hears that, he runs towards that side with his full strength. But at the end, that ship turns out to be Whitebeard's ship. Long story short, he begged him to take with him, but Whitebeard didn't allow him to join.
I said no!
But he was so crazy for adventure, and he joined the crew so crazily by just hanging out and swimming. Look at him. After becoming a member of Whitebeard's crew, he meets Toki on one island, who possesses a time fruit. Later, they get married and have 2 kids, Momo and Hiyori. Long story short, Whitebeard and Roger bump into one island, and they pick a fight that lasts for 3 days and nights. But in the end, the fight remains a draw. Later on, Oden joins Roger's crew, where Whitebeard is so mad at Oden's decision. So now the story gets really interesting. After joining Roger's pirate crew, they explore numerous new places and experience thrilling adventures. During these journeys, he learns a lot of history and aspects related to the Wano country. They also learn about ancient weapons like Poseidon, which can control the Sea Kings, and Pluton, which is capable of destroying the whole island. While on the way to Fishman Island, they also hear strange voices under the deep sea, where they are talking about how their ruler is going to be born. By the way, Roger and Oden were the only ones who heard that voice on that ship. When they reach Fishman Island, Roger asks King Neptune about the weapon that controls the Sea King beast. The king is unaware of the weapon that Roger mentioned. However, he mentions the belief that once every century, a mermaid is born in their country, who can communicate with the Sea King beast. The king speculates that this mermaid might be the one Roger is talking about, but he remains uncertain. After that, Roger asks Charlie about the mermaid's birth. She checks and replies, 10 years.
This many.
Okay, you might be wondering, why was he telling all of this? Because this information will be helpful later on in the story, so please bear with me. While exiting that country, once again they heard that same voice discussing 2 kings are going to be born, one on that island and one far from the sea. Probably, they are referring to the future pirate king, Joy Boy Luffy, and another would be King Neptune's daughter, Princess Shirahoshi. The voice is so loud that 2 people on the ship try to block it with their hands. In that voice, the Sea Kings are discussing. Even whales are happy to know that the 2 rulers will meet again one day. It will not be long. It is going to work out this time. 10 until the birth, 15 until growing up.
生まれるよ僕たちの王が生まれるよ遠い海でも生まれるね二人の王がまた出会う日をクジラたちも喜んでいるあと少し今度はきっとうまくいく生まれてくるのに10個大きくなるのに15個
In short, after Roger becomes Pirate King, he talks with his crewmate about the voice under the sea being true, and they come too early in the journey. Now comes the true, emotional part. After becoming the Pirate King and fulfilling his dream, he disbands his crew, and he returns with a bag of medicine. Yeah, it was truly so emotional. Trust me, if you want to watch it, you can find it in chapter 969. Okay, back to our video. After that, Oden returned to his country, but Kaido had already occupied Wano for a long time. Long story short, after reaching Wano, Oden is about to go to war against the Kaido, but Kaido offers a deal that if Oden danced for 5 years without clothes in Wano City, they would leave the country, but after 5 years, they didn't leave the country. Kaido betrayed Oden not once. He betrayed Oden multiple times and killed him at the end. Before dying, Oden had already told Toki to send everyone 20 years into the future. He knew that at that time, someone would able to defeat Kaido, even if he was fully prepared. Still, you didn't get it? Remember? The Sea King talks. Here, 10 until means 10 years, 15 until means 15 years, and 10 plus 15 equal to 25 years. And Oden wasted 5 years by dancing, and it remains 20 years for that figure to appear. So Oden knew someone came after 20 years to defeat Kaido because of that Sea King's conversation. Another thing that Oden talks about is opening Wano's border. But why does he want to open? Let's find out. As I said earlier in this video, reaching Wano and getting out of that country is tough because Wano is on top, and there are lots of big stone pillars called the border. Quick Wano's history in short. 800 years ago, Wano was a little bit above sea level, but in order to protect themselves, the Wano's people built a wall around the country. Nevertheless, rainwater and mountain water continued to accumulate in that wall and eventually forced Wano's people to move up here. Okay, back to our main point. In the adventure, Oden had the chance to read all the poneglyphs, and he knew all the history. He also knew that Joy Boy was coming soon, so he wants to welcome that person in Wano after 20 years. After all, Pluton is also in their country. We managed to know about Pluton in episode 982 from Oden's father. He even mentions that Pluton is further down than where the poneglyphs is located. And to bring it out, they have to remove the wall. After all, Oden knew all the history and also the meaning of the mysterious letter D, but he hadn't mentioned anything about it in his journey. But now Oda-sensei has just decided to give a little hint of that mysterious letter D, so he introduces another mysterious character, Imu, the biggest mystery of One Piece. In Manga chapter 1085, we managed to learn the little mystery of that letter D from Imu, where he says those who have the letter D on their names are our ancient enemies. And still, there are many mysteries to solve. But maybe in the future, we might see Imu versus Monkey D. Luffy in a big fight. During that fight, Luffy might have used those ancient weapons to fight with Imu, and Oden probably knew that by reading Poneglyph. So he might have wanted to prepare for that war from the beginning, which could be the reason he wished to open Wano's border. Okay, alright, even though we know where Pluton is in chapter 1085, Oda-sensei still hasn't given us any clue about what it looks like. But so many fans are speculating on so many theories. Some think it's a massive ship, others believe Sunny is Pluton, and even some fans claim Pluton is a living being just like Shirahoshi. But I have no idea about it. I'm waiting for Oda-sensei to reveal it. But if you have any clue about it, don't forget to leave a comment below. I really love to read.
By the way, if you enjoyed it so far, don't forget to show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button.